All right, we should be live right now. Just let me know, chat, if you can hear me. Throw up a 1 in that chat. Javi, what's going on, man? How you doing, buddy? Hopefully you can hear. All right, nice. Lucy, what's up, darling? How you doing? Mr. Palomino, greetings from Guadalajara, Mexico. Greetings, man. What time is it in Guadalajara? Let me add you to my list here. 10 o'clock. All right. Guadalajara on my list now. Whew. Javi, how you doing, man? Good to see you here. Smitty, one? Yeah, I did. I changed the name of the channel. Yeah, I put Massalorian in not parentheses. Shit, what are they called now? Help me out, chat. 10 o'clock. Yeah, I got you. Good to see you, Mr. Palomino. Yeah, I haven't seen you in a while. I remember your name coming up in the chat back in the day, so it's been a bit. But I'm glad you're back. Thanks for coming by and hanging out. Appreciate you, man. Barry Electronics, what's going on? How you doing tonight? Lucy, how you doing? Make sure I put Lucy down for my mods. How is everybody doing? All right. Let me Monona says bonsoir from Quebec. Monona, how you doing tonight? Is Monona a female or male? Make sure I get this right. Quebec. Let me add Quebec on here. Quebec. 11:05. Yeah, if you guys remember to hit the like button when you come in, that would be great. If you remember, no big deal. Female Monona? All right. But I make sure we get the pronouns proper here on this channel. French Canadian. I am up in your neck of the woods right now. Yeah, if you guys remember to hit that like button, that would be awesome. Monona, thanks for coming by. Appreciate you. All right, you guys saw what I put in the title tonight for the video. And I saw the other day, and the reason why I kind of pursued this a little more than I would normally, I saw Barry Electronics says I live near Seattle. Do I need to duck and cover? No, man, we're good. We're good. I'm right by you, Barry Electronics, right now. We're probably closer than you think. I'll wait till a couple more people come in, and then I'll tell you guys what I found out. Because I've been trying to work on this story now for, well, when did it come out? Late Friday night? Late Friday night was when I first saw it. Then I saw Frankie did a video on it. And I'm like, it means it's going over the stock market channels. And I tracked down finally where the info came from. And I said, you know what? I can't find any definitive information to back up this story. So let me just contact the FBI directly. So that's what I worked on all day today. And I will tell you guys where I'm at right now with that story. As soon as we get a couple more people in the chat. If it's your first time here, put up, let me know. Let me know in the chat. John Doe says mushroom clouds in the future. So I did see today, speaking of, a couple people had mentioned that we had some submarines that are possibly loaded with tactical nukes. And I'll get the exact. name for you. I did see that though, that it had gotten to the Eastern Mediterranean today. All right, so this article is from the Federation of Scientists. I'll put this up on the screen for you guys so you guys can see what I'm looking at. But I saw someone on Twitter post about this, saying that it wasn't a threat to Iran. This is relatively new technology. Let me wait till it gets up here so you guys can see it here. This is from January of 2020. And this is from the Federation of American Scientists. And guys, because my tooth is on its way out, it's like literally bouncing in my jaw right now. So bear with the, there might be a little bit of a delay in my speech. U.S. Navy has now deployed the W762 loaded submarine warhead. First ballistic missile submarine scheduled to deploy with the new warhead was the USS Tennessee, which left Georgia during the final weeks of 2019. So this is under the Trump administration. It's described here has the capability to help counter any mistaken perception, exploitable gap in the U.S. regional deterrence capabilities, meaning a reference to Russia. The justification voiced by the administration was that the United States did not have a prompt and usable nuclear capability that could counter and thus deter Russian use of its own tactical nuclear capabilities. And at this time, they said there was about 20 missiles. They have an estimated explosive yield of about 5 kilotons, which all comparatively speaking to say like Hiroshima and Nagasaki. It says based upon the supposed escalate to de-escalate doctrine, the NPR article from 2018 claims the W762 is needed to help counter any mistaken perception of an exploitable gap in U.S. regional deterrence capabilities. A low yield tactical nuke. John Doe. Floyd, what's going on, man? Good to see you in the chat. Barry Electronics has a great question. He says, do you think other countries will follow the South Korea ban? And sure. Let me pull up this chart for you. And remember, this is a temporary ban they have going on right now. Till June of next year. Hang on, I'll pull up the article. I believe they had, 5% jump this morning. Biggest surge since March of 2020. South Korea's stock surged on Monday after the country's reimposed a ban on shorts, while most Asia-Pacific markets took heart from a U.S. soft jobs report that helped reduce interest rate expectations. Financial authorities in South Korea said short selling will be banned until the end of June 2024. Short selling is when a trader sells borrowed shares to buy back at a lower price and pocket the difference. I saw Susan Trimbath commented on this on Twitter. We're going to need a miracle for that to happen in this country. Unfortunately. There's no way on God's green earth Gary Gensler would ban short selling. Unfortunately. Let me see if I can find the tweet from her. Yeah, I wish they were going to do that. I really do. It would be nice. Here's what she wrote. And do you guys know who Susan Trimbath is? She's a economics forecaster. She wrote the book Confessions of a Hitman, a Wall Street hit. It would need to be something that. Here we go. Wrote, like watching rats abandon ship, only here the result is the ship righted itself as the ballast went over the side. All the bite to covers. Then she put some hearts. Moas indeed. Here, Mags asked that question specifically. This guy, Robert Klein, says, excuse me, they could if people started fleeing our corrupt market and moving capital to South Korea, would probably be the type of thing to force their hand. Yeah. Justin here says, Gary Gensler. They have, why not do it again? What's this? Given the importance of confidence, you guys see this? Article up that this guy's got. When is this from? Oh, this is from September of 2008. So this is when the crash was going on. Says, given the importance of confidence in financial markets, the SEC's action halts short selling in 799 financial institutions. The SEC's emergency order pursuant to in Section 12 of the SEC Securities Exchange Act of 1934 will be immediately effective and will terminate at 11:59 on October 2nd. So they banned it for what? 19th to the 2nd, 2 weeks. South Korea is going way longer. They're going until June of next year. I've said for a while, I think it's something they could do. And I know a lot of people say it's a necessity to have shorts in the market to keep people honest about their company's evaluations and so on and so on. And I always go back to this. This was from a couple months ago.
So this week, Bloomberg wrote a sympathetic article about famed short seller Andrew Left. Now, 2 years ago, the FBI showed up at his home. They seized computers and phones, and since then, Left has gone into a foxhole. He's waiting to learn if the Justice Department and the SEC will bring charges of stock manipulation to him. Meanwhile, the public anxiously is also awaiting the outcome as well, especially retail investors. They went to war against Left and all the other short sellers. And I got to be honest, I've had my beefs with short sellers for over 30 years because I think they have way too much latitude to create way too much havoc in a market that normally either has guardrails or should have guardrails. And I admit I love when they are squeezed because, well, I've seen them do a lot of squeezing with impunity. Arguably, it's all legal, but the tactics that I've seen are unfair, and if not illegal, they certainly should be curbed. Now, there should be no way, in fact, like, for instance, to borrow a stock, more stock than is in the float. And then I got to tell you the other thing. It's these smear campaigns. So yesterday, Left told Benzinga that he should be rewarded for exposing bad companies. This is what he said. He's exposing bad companies. And by the way, he talked about working all night long. I've worked day and night for 3 or 4 decades. I'm serious. But what's a bad company? That's what I'm wondering. What is a bad company? Now, if a stock is overvalued, at some point it's going to come down. But that doesn't make it a bad company. Moreover, there should be no need to go on an anti-public relations tour. I mean, right? Think about long-term investors on the buy side. They typically accumulate stock outside of the public. They don't want anyone known they're buying stock. So if a stock is overpriced, the short should be thrilled when the stock moves higher. I call that the inverse Warren Buffett effect. That takes us to the other side of this whole thing, the equation. And that's the media bending over backwards always to help these short sellers. Just take a look at some of these headlines. This is from earlier this year on Carvana. Listen, I understand that people in my business, they want to curry favor with the powerful people on Wall Street because they want them to come on their show. They want them as guests. Oh, we've got the CEO of this and the CEO of that. But in recent years, it's gotten worse. There's actually been scorn from the media against retail, and I think it's absolutely despicable. For instance, I have disliked this stock for ages, and I reiterate that I still dislike it. So this is Jim Cramer, right? I mean, these folks are using these buzzwords like that. By the way, this is in January of this year. You know how much Carvana is up this year? 650%. Listen, I wish Left the best of luck. And I do condemn folks that have made threats of physical harm to him and his family. Although I do also find it ironic that Bloomberg even noted in that article that he wiped his once feared Twitter account. I want you to imagine this. You're the CEO of a struggling company, you've got thousands of employees, and then all of a sudden someone pops up on TV and says that your company is worthless. Yeah, of course, there's room and a role for the shorts to be out there. There's also room for them to be squeezed. In fact, I applaud the work that Hindenburg is doing. By the way, on this note, folks, I want to make sure that Gary Gensler gets his note. MMTLP.
Carvana's not up 600% anymore. Matter of fact, I think it's taken a massive hit since then. Yeah. Like I said, this was somewhere in this range right here. Someone was talking about this had good squeeze potential on it based off the TA. We'll see. I'm not getting involved with used cars right now. That's for sure. Christian Princess, how you doing tonight? How are you doing? Haven't seen you in a while. Lucy says, did anyone else notice that Roku removed Newsmax from its platform? No, I didn't. Yeah, Barry, MMTLP, right? I met some folks down in DC when we went down to the protests that were down there specifically because of that. Christian Princess says, can't sleep. What's up, Chris? How come, Christian Princess? What are you worried about? Why can't you sleep? Floyd says, just a suggestion, keep Massalorian and the Just a Concerned Citizen. Add the Just a Concerned Citizen. I'm partial. I've been with you a long time. It's still in the title, right? It's still in the title. Maybe I'll end up changing it back. I haven't done a live stream or anything since I changed it. I finally got Rumble set up. So these will start being simulcast on Rumble and here. It is, Floyd? DB Cooper, what's going on? About it. I'm just trying to, well, a couple things. I want to get away from Disney and anything associated with them because they're just straight poison right now. But I do like the name, right? And everyone knows me as Mass. I'll have to think about that. Maybe you're up to something. Lizzie, how you doing tonight? Floyd says, I almost missed you. Yeah, I got to make some posts about it. I'm going to announce, like, the Rumbles thing, and I'm just getting, it's getting to a point where I'm at my wit's end with YouTube. The last 7 or 8 uploads and live streams, I think 2 have been monetized. Everything else has either been claimed. Like, if you guys remember, a couple nights ago in the live stream, I played a 1-minute clip from 60 Minutes about with Kamala Harris. We played a 1-minute section of a clip, and they claimed the whole broadcast. 3-hour live stream I did, and NBC took it, all of it. Oh, Lizzie, it's bad. It's bad. I thought I was going to fall out last night. Honestly, I really did. I thought it was a goner when I woke up this morning. It's still hanging on. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm freaking out. I told you how I did it, right? I bit down on a cherry Danish, and there was a pit inside. And of course, I'm thinking I'm biting into something soft and no big deal. But so I went all in, and man, yeah, I should sue the grocery store. Yeah, Lizzie. So hopefully, honestly, I just wanted to come out now so I can start to enunciate again because everything sounds weird when I'm trying to enunciate. Jesse says, Jesse, what's going on, man? What time is it where you are, Jesse? I know you're an hour behind Wellington. 4:23 in the afternoon. So Hollington says, I don't care what your name is at the end of the day, brother. I always support you. Appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So we got 50 people in the chat right now. So let me get to quickly so I can just go over where I'm at with the FBI. So I saw Frankie do the video, and then I saw people all over reposting this guy's channel. This particular video right here is kind of where I went back to find where this info came from. Like I said, I saw Frankie do a video about it, and I was like, wow, I'm like, this is really getting around. And he said that the Ghetto Boys had mentioned it, of cities that he'd mentioned. Now, what was said was that the FBI had a list of cities they think that this group, Unit 910, which is a Hezbollah, what's the right word? Offshoot, that are already embedded here in the United States. And that they were going to possibly either attack either a cyber attack or infrastructure or actual people, possibly like physically violent. So here was the video, and so I watched the whole thing a couple times because I was trying to pinpoint where I getting this list from, and he talked about a few different things. See, I wrote down these two. All right. So here's a couple things I noticed about this live stream. Because I'm like, man, and I saw people on Twitter saying, can you go over the list again? I have family here. And other people were saying, oh my God, this is horrible. I live in that city. And the video got how many views? 1.6 million views for a live stream. So a lot of people saw this video. A lot of people. And the couple things that I noticed were, God, I wish I wrote better. All right, so he makes the list of cities. But the pretext of what he says before he starts is important. Hold on. The wording is important.
The United States and intel on them. They are watching them. They know they're here. But this is just of the that we know of. If you believe that there are more here, put a 1 in the comments. If you believe that they have tabs on all of them, that the FBI is controlling everything that's going on pretty well, put a 2. But I've got a feeling that this list, wait till you hear the list, it's pretty extensive. That this is just what they know of that's taking place, you guys. Now, let me go ahead and share this with you, okay? So let's go through the list. And I'm going to let you know what we have on here. And this is not in any particular order. This is not in alphabetical order, but this is the list of cities, you guys. And let me know if you are in this city. If I name a city and you're in it, type a 1 comments so that way I can see. Actually, no, we're already done 1 and 2. Do me a favor, type a 5 in the comments if I name your city. I'd like to get intel.
All right, so he's asking everyone to put numbers down if their city comes up, because he says he's gathering intel. I'm like, okay.
On this list, and also what we're hearing, they are planning. This is what they believe. Now, we will see. And all of this hearsay coming out from the FBI. Like, I know a lot of people are saying, is this actually legitimately what's happening? Here's the thing. They're saying that they're planning a coordinated attack. So in other words, imagine, if you will, all of these cities on one day getting hit all at once, not randomly, but a coordinated effort. So that way, all of a sudden, one day we wake up and this city gets hit, and this is hit, and this city gets hit, all of them coordinated at the same time to wreak havoc all at once on one day, to watch for. So major cities like this all around the nation, they are saying to be on the watch. And I see a lot of fives in the comments. I see a lot of people saying, yeah, they're on the list. So again, 5, if in the comments, if you are on the list.
Like if, and I'm going to tell you what the FBI said. To get people riled up like this for likes, and I counted, there were 6 times during this video where he kept saying, 350 us to 3,000, 420 likes will get us to 5,000. This is very dangerous to be saying stuff like this without any sources or any way to back up the information. All right, so this is when someone asks him for sources.
That we can get the likes over 2,000.
Oh, come on. Don't hit me like a piece of shit.
Self-employed in Canada? Protect your small business with insurance. Insurance policy starts at only $19 per month. Trusted by 50,000 Canadian small businesses, up to 35% today.
I'm giving this guy free airtime.
Would be fantastic, because that will just help push out more. So if you haven't hit the like yet, one little click, it helps out a ton. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Sources, yes, sources are linked in the description. But as I mentioned, I am sourcing some of the articles, some of the stuff I am not. You can Google search for yourself. And I'm going to actually write something and put it on the screen, but not say it and not put it in my description because I don't want to trigger something. So everyone stay with me. I'm going to write something and show you so that way you can go ahead and Google search it yourself. Some things I understand that I can't share. All right, so I think this is backwards. Let me write it. Let me see if I write this backwards for you guys.
This is kind of funny. Just in case you want it backwards.
If you have time, you can Google search this for yourself. Not bad. I wrote this backwards. Okay, if you can see that.
All right.
If you
So he wrote Unit 910, which is not new news, right? Unit 910, as I said, is a Hezbollah offshoot that the FBI believes is here in the United States already embedded amongst the population. Now, I did do a little bit of digging on them, and there was an article that came out from Politico. I'm going to say the name. I don't really give a shit. This is important stuff. But it's not important. It's not important enough where you need to write it down on a piece of paper and hold it up to the screen. Like, this isn't brand new leaked information that no one else has. They've known about this 910 unit for a long time. All right. So let me throw the article up so you guys see where I'm coming from. And then I'll show you the article from Politico. All right, so this is it here. This is a kind of a brief explanation of who these guys are. This Unit 910. Okay. There we go. Hezbollah's elite and strictly compartmented clandestine unit is commanded by Talal Hamai and functions as the far-reaching strategic arm of Hezbollah and Iran. Its purpose is to the West and against Israel in particular. In the past, the unit was headed by Mugiana himself. I'm probably saying these wrong. The unit is composed of specialized units operating jointly both from administrative and operative aspects, and is strictly compartmented from all other units within the organization. The unit is composed of small groups of operatives, mainly Lebanese Shiites, whose families are not born in Lebanon, some of which even hold authentic foreign identity documents, allowing them to travel across the world under false identities and tourist or business cover stories. Their frequent travels abroad are explained away to their family members, neighbors, and friends as regular business trips, whereas they are in fact members of units of killers mounting various terror activity throughout the world. As opposed to other religious Lebanese Shiites, the operatives who travel abroad shave their beards, do not visit mosques, and consort with local women in the area when they carry out their missions. So basically, they try to blend in with the population as opposed to what you might think stereotypically a foreign fighter from the Middle East would look like. I'm trying to be very PC here. The operatives of this unit undergo a long and complex process of security training until they are formally authorized as operatives, including field security, working undercover, sabotage techniques, as well as camouflage techniques in case they're required to escape from any given country. In order to facilitate its activities worldwide, the unit establishes ties with elements who support Hezbollah and are permanent residents abroad, and use these elements for logistic and operational purposes. Says Hezbollah makes cynical and manipulative use of the elements who provide them with support, and as a result of this, the majority of Hezbollah's failures to carry out terror attacks have ended in such way that while the operatives were warned ahead of time and exfiltrated, the network of facilitators paid the price by serving long prison sentences. All right, so that's a little background on who they're talking about, what they look like, and who the FBI is concerned about right now. All right, now let me switch this article here, because this is an article from 2019, pulled up, talking about Hezbollah in New York. Is that up on the screen? There we go. Okay. All right, so this is from 2019. It says Hezbollah isn't just, it's in New York too. It talks about the trial of one of their operatives. In recent years, Hezbollah has stepped up its activities beyond Lebanon's border. This uptick has been clearest in the Middle East, in Iraq, Yemen, and especially Syria. But plots have also been thwarted in South America, Asia, Europe, and now possibly the U.S. Reports of Hezbollah activity in North America are not new. This has been going on for a long time. This unit that they're talking about should be well ingrained inside the U.S. society by the time they're going to carry out whatever attacks they have planned, if there are such any attacks in the works. I don't know that there are. Though such reporting tends to focus on the group's fundraising, money laundering, procurement, and other logistical activities from Vancouver to Miami. But last month, the criminal prosecution and conviction in New York of a Hezbollah operative, Ali Karani, revealed disturbing new information about the extent of Hezbollah's operations and activities in the U.S. and Canada. Taken together, the Iranian and another Hezbollah operative, Samar el-Dabek, led the U.S. intelligence community to revisit its long-standing assessment that Hezbollah would be unlikely to attack the U.S. homeland unless the group Washington to be taking action threatening its existence or that of its patron, Iran. So this is very possible that the reason why the FBI is concerned right now about this type of a unit is because of the movement of U.S. troops and everything we're seeing going on right now in the Middle East. It's the first time that we've had repeated warnings to Iran, forth of dialogue going between the two countries that escalating, and they're talking about actually attacking one another. So the whole of Iran creating this arm of Hezbollah was for this exact reason, would be to be able to hit America in the homeland if Iran felt under threat. And that's when they would try to activate some of these cells. It says Karani carried out other operational activities as a long-term sleeper agent, acting on behalf of Hezbollah external attack planning component, the Islamic Jihad organization, such as identifying Israelis in New York who could be targeted by Hezbollah and finding people from whom he could procure arms that Hezbollah could stockpile in the area. Says while living in the United States, Karani served as operative of Hezbollah in order to help the foreign terrorist organization prepare for potential future attacks against the U.S., said the U.S. Attorney General for National Security, John Deemer. These included buildings housing the FBI and U.S. Secret Service in Manhattan, as well as New York's John F. Kennedy International Airport and a U.S. Army armory. I was convicted back in 2019, and the article from the other day about the Jordanian they caught in Texas. Now, there's been no association between this one guy who was arrested last week and this arm of Hezbollah, but in this video that we were just watching, this guy makes the connection. I haven't been able to find that connection anywhere, that he seems to me like he might just have been a lone wolf. But here we go. This is him. Jordanian man arrested in Houston on gun charge was plotting violence against Jewish people per report. The suspect was in the country on a temporary work authorization after his non-immigrant visa expired several days ago. A 20-year-old Iranian man in custody on suspicion of illegally possessing a firearm as an alien reportedly threatened to commit acts of violence against Jewish people. Federal agents arrested Sohaib Obasha last Monday after he allegedly purchased a semi-automatic handgun at a firing range in late September. How was he able to get his hands on a handgun? On October 19th, a federal agent filed a criminal complaint charging the suspect with unlawful possession of a firearm by an alien who had been admitted to the U.S. under a non-immigrant visa. The document contained images the suspect posted claiming he was using airsoft guns, but the affidavit said they were real weapons. Now, this is a congressman here commenting. He says, I'm deeply concerned by the reports of a possible terrorist plot to attack the Jewish community in Houston. As anti-Semitic threats against Jews in the United States have reached historic levels in recent weeks, it is critical that we ensure the safety of Jewish families. How about an American too? In Texas' 7th Congressional District and across the country. The suspect's arrest occurred amid increased fears of violence against Jewish people and other minority groups after the terrorist attacks on Israel by Hamas. FBI Director Christopher Wray referenced Abiyash's arrest in his testimony this week about counterterrorism efforts. So there you go. Now, again, this guy hasn't been able, or at least I haven't been able to connect him to this arm of Hezbollah. But make no mistake, these guys are out there. We have had a wide open border for the last 2.5 years. They're saying almost 10 million people have come in the country since then. And these guys were coming in when we had Trump in office and a much stricter border policy. So imagine with the lax conditions right now, how many people have gotten through. Lucy, thank you, darling. Appreciate you. Much love, much love. Thank you, Lucy. Brocape, what's going on, man? Say hey to some people in the chat real quick. How you doing, Brocape? Floyd says there's certainly a disturbance in the force. For sure, for sure. Comedy Podcast Company, what's going on, man? Good to see you in the chat. Christian Princess says, right, I saw this and I asked myself the same thing. What sources? All right, so let me tell you what the FBI said. So I called the Boston field office this morning. They directed me to call one of the offices on the West Coast, which was San Francisco. It was actually, make sure I get this right. Okay. Yep, San Francisco. And I spoke with someone from not PR department, but from their actually, let me just pull up the email. I got so many screens open right now. So they couldn't give me any information over the phone. And this is what it was. All right. So the lady in Seattle who I spoke with finally directed me to the National Press Office, which is in DC. And then she sent me for the person in charge there to forward the message to. So I did that a while ago now. It was 5 or 6 hours ago. I sent an email to that wing of the FBI. Apparently, they're the only ones that can discuss anything like that with independent media. So that email has been sent. I'm going to go back to them tomorrow. But as I said in the email to them, I looked all in and couldn't find one legitimate source with that list. Not one. Like complete misinformation, disinformation. As far as I'm concerned right now, until I hear back from them tomorrow, maybe I'll get a different answer. But anybody in any one of those cities that was named, I wouldn't take that as gospel. Let's put it that way. Barry Electronic says, "Get blocker. With Biden's open border, everything from terrorists to killer drugs are coming in daily. Shake my head." Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty sickening. It's pretty sickening. Speaking of which, there was something crazy I saw today. I'll show you guys. This is just like so crazy that this is going on right now. I don't know if you guys saw it, but man, this administration is just really fucked up with the border. This policy is devastating. All right, here we go. Check this out. This shit.
Uno por uno. ¿Puedes levantar? Ok. 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 Quédese.
I mean, is this not crazy? Look at this guy. He's about to die.
De rodillas, todo. De rodillas. Rodillas, quédense ahí. No se muevan. There's more than that. Uy. Quédense ahí. Quédense ahí. De rodillas. Agáchate. Puse rodillas en. Agáchate. Ahí está bien. Ven para acá.
I mean, what is going on? And nobody is doing anything about it. Where is the border czar? Why is our house sending $13 billion to Ukraine right now in Israel when our border still hasn't been closed yet? I don't understand the mentality that these people have. Titan 476K, what's going on, man? How you doing tonight? Good to see you in the chat, man. Harry Parrott says, beware of false flags. Beware when the FBI calls out terrorist hits. Pay attention. This is all to scare. Like I said, man, I can't validate any of that list or anything that the FBI has said. In my opinion, I do believe they have cells here. No doubt about it. They said that the planning of this attack on October 7th has been going on for years. So knowing the policy and how weak the border is right now, you would have to imagine that these guys have been sent over. They've already caught, what, 200 and something terrorists? Known terrorists on the watch list, not gotaways. Harry Parrott says, this is all to scare the public to want in the Biden administration to protect the USA through martial law. We talked about this. We've been talking about it a couple months now, right? How are they going to be able to pull off 2020, the summer of love? How will they be able to do it this time? Because I don't think the public's going to fall for BLM Antifa bullshit. This is a way to do it. Like we said just the other night, we were talking about, what happens if there was an attack like this just a couple days before the election, and or a couple weeks, and then the FBI came out with a couple press releases saying that they have credible evidence that some of these cells will be activated on election day, and we can't risk the public going out to vote, so everything's going to be mail-in. Or, maybe it would be 2 months out because they'd have to give time for them to be able to roll out the whole policy. But they got it then, because the latest polls, the polls look like the election looked like on the November, what was it, 7th of last year, before everyone went to bed, when Trump was up in all of the swing states except for one. I think Nevada was the only one he was trailing by like 1 a.m. This is the latest poll. Let me shut this down. Okay. And pull this up. Okay. I think this came out yesterday, I want to say. Where's my live? There we go. All right. Let me pull it up. Man, I should have had this part ready. All right. I'll throw this up and I'll get back to the chat immediately. All right. FLA. There we go. All right. Why is that so big? Hold on. I don't know why it's not letting me do that. All right, for some reason it's not letting me pull it up. But Trump's up in every swing state, basically, except for one. He's still losing Wisconsin right now. Literally, it looks like before everyone went to bed the night of election night, Trump's up in 5 out of 6. And of course, the media is freaking out about it. Freaking out. Lucy says, everyone see the National Trans Shooters Manifesto. She said she was going to kill crackers. I did see that. Has anyone come out to verify that that was actually her manifesto? It looked like a bunch of chicken scratch to me. Or maybe it just wasn't a manifesto per se. Like maybe that was her idea of what a manifesto looks like. I did say, though, I mean, it's kind of funny that a white girl with blonde hair and blue eyes is running around talking about killing crackers. FAGGOTS crackers. Unbelievable. And I saw the mayor of Nashville also come out trying, instead of saying he's upset that someone leaked the manifesto to Crowder, whoever got their hands on it first. That's what he's mad about. He's not mad that what's detailed the information in there and that, they were trying to hide it for 6-7 months now. That's not why he's mad. He wants to find out who leaked it. It's really something else. Harry Parrott says, concerning the polls, CNN, CNBC, etc. are pulling their hair out this morning. It's comical. Yeah, I saw that. I also saw that the congresswoman there from the 30th district in Texas, Jasmine Crockett, went on and said they were asking her about why Biden was losing the black vote, and she said people are getting emotional and they need to learn civics, and that they really just don't understand how well Biden is doing as president. Basically calling black people stupid was what it sounded like to me. Or they were incompetent of understanding how they feel. Rage says, I'm at the point where I'm no kids. Touche, devil. Touche. The world is evil and it's a handful of people causing this country to fall apart. Was hopeful on AMC, but I lost hope and I just remained stuck in it. Me too, man. Yeah, I'm right here with you. I was hoping that was going to be my ticket to paradise, and here we are. Right? Not only am I haven't bought a house yet, I'm not even in my own place. Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely some evil people out there teaching some evil to kids. They are completely radicalizing this younger generation with some of this shit. I mean, the stuff I'm seeing on Twitter and online, it is just evil, hateful stuff. And man, I'm just, back in the day, it wasn't like that when I was going to school, when I was growing up. They didn't teach any of that. We had a basic understanding of our history, right? And that there were some bad things that went on in the past, of course, that should be condemned. But it's almost at the point now where they're trying to act like white Americans invented slavery. Like slavery hasn't been going on since the dawn of mankind. And I think that's a problem because I didn't learn that until after high school and college. I had to go do my own research to find out the true history of slavery. The Arab slave trade was like 10 times worse than the North American slave trade ever was. They think that about 12 million Africans, West Africans, were kidnapped by Arab traders and merchants. And as many as 100 million possibly up to 100 million died throughout the course of history, West and East Africans under the control of Arab slave traders. And no one talks about that. No one. And they should be. They should be talking about it. I'm going to pop this up real quick because I think this is one of the greatest exchanges ever in the history of CNN. All right. Let me put here. All right. Here we go. Okay. You guys should be able to see this now up on the screen. There we go. Yep. Okay.
Well, this is coming when, there's all of this wealth. You hear about it. New Zealand is facing rising cost of living, a living crisis, and austerity budget cuts, and so on. And then you have those who are asking for reparations for colonialism, and they're wondering, $100 billion, $24 billion here and there, 500 million there. Some people want to be paid back, and members of the public are wondering, why are we suffering when you are, you have all of this vast wealth? Those are legitimate concerns.
Well, I think you're right about reparations in terms of if people want to go, what they need to do is you always need to go back to the beginning of a supply chain. Where was the beginning of the supply chain? That was in Africa. And when across the entire world, when slavery was taking place, which was the first nation in the world that abolished slavery? First nation in the world to abolish it. It was started by William Wilberforce, was the British. In Great Britain, they abolished slavery. 2,000 naval men died on the high seas to stop slavery. Why? Because the African kings were rounding up their own people. They had them on cages waiting in the beaches. No one was running into Africa to get them. And I think you're totally right. If reparations need to be paid, we need to go right back to the beginning of that supply chain and say, who was rounding up their own people and having them handcuffed in cages? Absolutely. That's where they should start. And maybe, I don't know, the descendants of those families where they died in the high seas trying to stop the slavery, that those families should receive something too, I think, at the same time.
It's an interesting discussion, Hillary. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. We'll continue to discuss it.
It's an interesting discussion. Do you guys remember there was a movie that came out, I believe it was this year, in the beginning of the year, or maybe the end of last year, The Woman King? It was with, what's her name now? Really famous Academy Award-winning actress. Chat. Heal919 says, no more AMC talk? There's a lot of misinformation going on about terrorist attacks in the United States. I'm trying to clear that up. I spent all day today trying to track down an FBI agent to get me that list. And did we MOAS today? Can't break that $11 mark, huh? And hold it. Everything was down today except Apple. GME was down too. Yeah, man, I'm not going to get all fired up about 2% jump today. I just can't. After 2.5 years, a 30-cent move and going through two semi-squeezes already. Heal 919. It's tough to get excited about closing below 11. $11, especially when my shares just got whacked by 90% a few months ago. But I'm still hodling, waiting for that day. And when it comes, we'll be talking about AMC. You better believe it. Till then, though, I try not to get too emotional about it anymore because I don't think we have any control over the stock in reality. So why am I going to get myself all worked up? Why am I going to come on here and get you guys worked up when, the country is hanging on by a thread and there's nothing I can do about AMC anymore. I've held this long through this reverse split and the ape and all the bullshit. Went down, did the protest. I really don't know what else. I mean, unless I fucking run for Congress, I don't know what else I can do. I don't believe that the market is working the way it's supposed to right now. I don't believe it's truly based off supply and demand. I think that we underestimated how much sway these guys have when they're able to market maker and the head, and they're conspiring behind everyone's back through the brokers to control the order flow. I had my hopes so high after I saw the 2 semi squeezes. I said, okay, we can do this. I thought the market was legit enough where it was a possibility, and I still think to this day, back in June, that had he not dumped those shares on the market, we might have seen triple digits that next day, whatever it was, June 4th. And then there was stopping it. But maybe they would have. Maybe they would have halted it anyways. I don't know. Jungle Rumbler says, I'm still holding, brother. Yeah. Yeah, man. I can't get everyone riled up. Like, I see the guys out there, Ants Trades, doing like technical analysis on AMC on a daily basis, saying everything's bullish and perfect setup. And we just keep ping ponging between like 10 and $11. I mean, it was supposed to be all-time highs back in January. I remember the first time you did a video, and I was like, look, man, I remember I came out and put out my own video. And this is why I'm not doing that anymore, is because that's not going to help anybody, right? If people want to get entertained and go over there and watch him do a chart setup, why should I be upset about that? If that's what blows your hair back, go for it. So, I'm not going to do a video to come out and attack his chart or say he's wrong or he doesn't know how a short squeeze works. There's no benefit to the community or anyone doing that. I have done that in the past. I've done all my Lou videos and Al from Boston videos and why I thought they were a problem. And I was mad about, Meet Kevin and Wrench and some of those guys who said Ape was worthless. I thought that kind of helped, hurt us. But, outside of the market right now, there's other things I think that we have a little more control over, especially in the next year coming up. That if we really want to fight to get some changes made, we need to start talking about those issues, looking at candidates. And again, there is a battle going on behind the scenes outside of the market that I just think is really important. This good versus battle. The Marxist, communist crazies out there who want to burn this country to the ground. And you saw it this weekend. What was really funny to me? Lucy says Don Lemon still has a job. No. That was an old interview, but great point, right? Lucy says, I want reparations for my Irish ancestors who were first slaves to fight in the Civil War. Yeah, as soon as they came off the boat, right? As soon as they came off the boat, they were thrown right into the Union Army to go fight to abolish slavery. I mean, that was one of the things that they fought for, right? Yeah, the Arab nations and Barbary pirates, those guys kidnapped at 10 times the amount that ever at the peak of the North Atlantic, the Portuguese, the Spaniards, the English, and then us. 10 times. Nuts. And no one talks about that. It's not talked about. Christian Princess says, same crap, different day. AMC is. That's how I feel, Christian Princess. Yeah, what are we going to do? And that's how I feel too. There's more important things to, like, okay, so this channel started talking about AMC all the time. We talked about the market. We talked about crypto, a couple other things. Over the last 2.5 years, that has evolved, right? And I've seen that no matter whose video it is on what day, it doesn't have any effect on price action. What will have an effect on price action is, a couple things, right? Earnings reports, maybe a catalyst that has to, that I just don't even know anymore. I'm at my wit's end with the market. I don't know what else that we can do to change anything that's going on right now. The corruption is so deep. It feels like every time Gensler comes into Congress to answer questions, it's like a big dog and pony show. Like, I don't really think anyone is holding anyone accountable. I just saw an article the other day that someone wrote who was an insider at Ethereum talking about that not Vlad, what's his name? Hold on. I might have bookmarked it because I read the whole thing. I have it here. Yeah, here it is. Oh, it was a tweet from Patrick Byrne. That's what it was. Here it is. He said, keep an eye on this story. You will see that it intersects with mine. Ethereum insider ETH founders, fraud bigger than FTX. This is from 2 days ago. Make sure you guys can see this. Yeah, okay. All right, so it says, Ethereum Insider has made allegations against Ethereum's founders, claiming that their fraudulent activities far surpass those seen in the notorious FTX fraud case. Attorney and former advisor for ETH, Steven Neroff, recently published a shocking piece about Ethereum in X, formerly Twitter, on Thursday. The lawyer, who has personal knowledge of Ethereum, having worked for the blockchain network previously, has come forward with explosive allegations regarding the actions of Ethereum founders Vitalik Buterin and Joseph Lubin. According to Neroff, the two Ethereum founders have allegedly orchestrated fraudulent activities regarding the Ethereum blockchain that exceeded the scale of the actions committed by former CEO and founder of FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried. He said it's 1,000 times bigger than SBF. The FTX case, which has been in the headlines for about a year, was one of the biggest crypto financial losses ever, $8 billion. Ms. Alameda, the founder of FTX, was recently found guilty to serve 100 years in prison. All right, here's the interesting part. Following his statement of Ethereum allegedly being involved in fraudulent schemes higher than SBF's fraud case, Neroff disclosed that founders Joseph Lubin and Vitalik Buterin have allegedly been colluding with corrupt U.S. government officials from some of the highest federal agencies. The former mentioned prominent government figures that Ethereum may have had secret dealings with, including U.S. Secretary of Exchange Commission Chairman Gary Gensler and former U.S. SEC Chairperson Jay Clayton. Joe Lubin and Buterin have been at the front with corrupt officials at the highest levels of federal agencies, such as Clayton, Gensler, and many others. Neroff's allegations suggest that Ethereum's corruption runs deep and high, allowing the platform to have an unfair advantage in the crypto space. The claims are yet to be verified and have raised questions and concerns among crypto community members. I mean, It never ends with fucking guys. Seriously, never ends. I don't know. Floyd says run for office, local, state, or federal. Yeah, man. People, I think good people need to get more involved with their politics, especially locally. I was listening to someone the other day talking about Soros, and he targets local district attorneys. It was pretty interesting, but you know, his dollar goes way further on the small scale than in a presidential or senator's race or governor's race. All he needs to do is fund the DA in any given county, and he has tremendous sway on how the law is applied. Jungle Rebel says, what happened to Trey's ass? I haven't seen him around in a while, man. Hey, Pam. How you doing, Pammy? Yeah, I haven't seen Trey online or anything. Anywhere. I think Trey took his money and ran. His $1 million in options and ran. Harry Parrott says, did you see where Zelensky was trying to visit Israel for a photo op? It was going to be used as Unite the World Against Terrorism. It was leaked and canceled. No, I didn't. I didn't, Harry Parrott. I didn't. I did hear that he said, or he invited Trump to Ukraine. He said he would be able to explain to him in 24 minutes why he can't call a ceasefire. Jungle Rumbler says America got sold. Lucy says, does anyone still watch Lou's videos? Let me see. Let's find out. All right. What's his new channel name? What is it? Trying to remember. Lou on Money? Help me out, chat. Pam says, sorry, just got home earlier from Vegas. Oh, nice, Pam. Did you? I didn't see any pictures of you in Vegas. Flying to San Fran tomorrow. I'm on a week vacation finally. Be careful, Pam. Watch your back in San Fran. I saw some big dummy on Twitter today who was laughing because people didn't want to come visit San Francisco. I should play it. I'll play the video in a second. But what is Lou's new channel's name? The Lou Bravo Money Report. Hold on. See if it comes. Here it is. Let's see if anybody's still watching. Oh, yeah. He's still getting views. I don't know what he is possibly saying, man. We're going to run tomorrow? He possibly be... Hang on, I'm going to throw this up. Here it is. Let's take a looky here. Oh, yeah, he's doing himself. Lou's doing just fine. 36,000 views today, 24,000 a day, 31,000 the day before. Talking about absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Absolute nonsense. The Lou Bravo Money Report. Yeah, he's doing very well for himself. Wow. Look. 4,000. I think I've made 4,000 total in the 2.5 years I've been on here. I'm not joking. He's making that every month. Hey, look, if people are gonna watch, he'll keep putting shit out, right? You got idiots out there who are listening to this guy on a constant basis, and as long as there are people out there willing to watch, and if he's entertaining people, then that's fine, right? I just hope he hasn't given it financial advice. Although the name of his channel is the Lou Bravo Money Report. User created January 1st, 2023. So this is definitely new. So it's a new channel, and he's got 82,000 views just from 30 days. But he started his channel a week after in 2021. We started our channels in spring of 2021. He's done very well on YouTube. I don't know about AMC. I think he, well, actually, I remember exactly the number. He had 217 shares when he started his channel. 217. I don't know if he's liquidated then or what he's done, but he certainly kept his community looking for more information. Pam says, I'll be fine. We'll be in Napa Winery and visiting some family in Sonoma. All right, at least you're not going to be in downtown DC. That's good, Pam. She said 10 or 11 bucks is $1.10 per share. That's the other thing, right? Like, I'm looking at AMC, but so I have like the Apple stocks with just a list of what I have. And it looks like $10.95, but it really isn't. It's really $1.95. Like, what am I supposed to talk about with that? I would rather be tracking down the story from the FBI and getting an answer about this list. So Hodla Hollington says, I don't want to hear about me. That's the thing, man, right? Like, until we hit all-time highs, new all-time highs, which now that would be at what, $720 a share? I really can't. It's going to take a lot to get me amped up. Of course, if there's information that I think is important to the overall health of the company and to the stock, we'll talk about it. But until then, I just can't get fired up for these little moves or someone's technical analysis of matching up a chart from, stock from 1989. I just can't do it. Floyd says, hello, sweet, beautiful Pam. So Hodla Hollington says, Lou versus followers. Yeah, right. Harry says, it's time for everyone to look at the big picture. Everything that did from Obama to now was to serve the USA on a silver platter to global cartel. Enlighten got in their way. Yeah, man. It's interesting, though, that people are starting to wake up to that, but for sure. Was the 2008 to 2028 is going to be that last, the end of that crisis mode, right? The fourth turn. It's interesting how that lined up 2008 with the financial collapse. And now we're about 4 years away from the end of that cycle. You guys know what that is, right? The last 20 years of that cycle. And it's funny. I saw the other day, someone drew this up. See if I can pull it. Where are you? It was like the most perfect lined up fourth turning chart I've seen as far as checking out this cycle we're in. I have it downloaded onto my video software because I put it in the documentary. I can't find it. I don't see it. Oh yeah, here it is. Here it is. Let me put it up. Let me put it here. Let me just get the chart off of there so I can make it big. All right, let's download this. All right. And sometimes it's hard to navigate this thing, man. There we go. I need another monitor. That would make life so much easier. There we go. All right. So this is fourth crisis here. Going back to the revolution, right? 1773 to 1794. Civil War from 1860 to 1865. The Depression in World War II from 29 to 46. The millennial crisis started in 2005, 2006. Now, I've seen some people mess around with those numbers and put 2008 to 2028, which seems more likely to me, just because we're going to have a president in that spot, well, another election, and I think there's no doubt about it. We are headed for war. No doubt about it. We are headed for war. Lucy says, one of my biggest hospital clients was best friends with Bibi Netanyahu and funneled millions to buy up land and homes in Palestine areas. Dr. Irving Moskowitz, dead now, but his family is still around. Yeah, Harry Parrott, there's definitely an enlightenment going on. Unfortunately, the problem is, in my opinion, the mainstream media, the government, and educational system is really messing with the younger generation's head right now and playing divide and conquer. And that's going to end badly for them. I hope more of them, when they come out of school, because none of these kids are ready for the real world. None of them are ready for the real world. They have no idea of, they have no social skills. They don't understand anything about civics or government. Their financial future is in peril. I mean, half of these kids can't even find the countries they're protesting for on a map. And on top of that, you have 10 million illegal immigrants who have come into the country in the last 2.5 years. They're going to put a massive strain on all of those systems. The welfare system, all of the cities right now. I mean, people are out there going to town halls right now, to meetings in the big cities. They are pissed. And they should be. They should be. Yeah. People are working up to Bilderberg, the World Economic Forum, all of these globalist elites that are trying to play God right now. And they've managed to pull it off in a lot of places. I mean, look at what's going on in Europe. And the police the other day I saw in England were telling people with British flags up to take them down before a protest came through, a Free Palestine protest. And then there's also a report that they're going to do a rally because they have Remembrance Day, which is our Veterans Day. They're going to have a Free Palestine rally on Armistice Day in England. And the Metropolitan Police is afraid to ask them not to do it. It's getting nutty. It's getting nutty out there. Here it is. This was the day.
Let's talk about the money that is spent. I think that there needs to be a federal audit against the money that we have contracted out to take care of the migrants. We have nurses.
Listen to these numbers for a second. They will blow your mind.
That are being $64,000 a month. We have security officers that are being paid as much as $24,000 a month. We have home health care workers that are being paid up to $17,000 a month. You don't think that Chicago could have benefited from that? We have citizens in this city that have been on the waiting list for affordable housing for years, and Mike bumped in front of them. We have people who have been given up to $9,000 a month for housing assistance. That amount of money, life for some families here in Chicago. We are not anti-migrant. We do sympathize with them. But what I am is I am pro-black. I am for my people who have been mistreated, who have been marginalized, who have been disrespected. And it is disrespectful for people to expect us to give up our parks and places in our community for others. We're not saying that there's not room here. What we are saying is not going to step aside for you to accommodate them when you have continued to leave us out of the equation. So I'm not just talking to Brandon Johnson right now. I'm talking to Governor Pritzker, and I'm talking to President Biden. And I want you to understand that as we run into upcoming political year, where the Democratic Party is on the menu, hear me. People of Chicago, of Illinois, and of the United States, it is time for us as black people to stop voting party. It is time for us to stop voting color. It is time for us to stop our self-interest. And if the Democrats in the city of Chicago, the state of Illinois, and the country of USA refuses to listen to us, then it is time for us to start looking at other alternatives. People, we are looking at other alternatives. We will step aside and continue to be mistreated. We will not continue to be disrespected. I'm looking at people who are coming here from another country, giving work visas, giving social security cards. Nobody is asking them what walk of life that they come from. You don't think that who have been in prison, who have come out and who have changed their lives will benefit from the same opportunities that we're giving these migrants?
She's right. She's right. But this has been going on for decades. Decades. And this last 2.5 years since Biden came into office, people are realizing that they got the short end of the stick voting for this guy. They sold him as, they're going to save the world from Trump. And we're in a terrible spot right now as a country. I saw someone today or yesterday on MSNBC, some black talking point guy. I think he used to be the head of the Democrat, some kind of Democratic, I don't know, fundraiser or something. And the commentator was asking him. He said, "What Joe Biden's poll numbers are horrible. What does he need to do?" And with a straight face, he looked at him and said, "They need to start promoting Kamala Harris. Is the future of this party." No bullshit. That was his take on how to win back. He said she pulled great before she was vice president. And when she goes around, then some white lady chirped in with purple hair and said, when she goes around the college campuses, people go wild for her. She's like, the venues can't keep up with the amount of, and they cheer her on. It is just amazing how out of touch these people are. Amazing. DB Cooper says, can't believe how the LGBTQ community has come out to support Palestine. I want to start a reality show where we take someone from that community and see how long they can survive in one of these countries. Take your pick of any over there and follow them around. See how long do you think they'd last? 48 hours, maybe? But yet over here, we're trying to genocide them. You guys know who Billboard Chris is? He's a Canadian guy. This was pretty wild. He went to a Palestinian rally the other day. And some Antifa guy came up to him. Here it is. This is pretty funny. This is how out of touch these people are with geopolitics or understanding the real world. They have no understanding of reality. Watch this.
Sterilizing kids that you support. Why do you think we should sterilize kids?
Why do you think you have a right to a child's body?
What's a trans body?
A child's body. You're enforcing the parents' control over a person's body.
So, are you familiar with the facts about this, about how children are being sterilized?
I don't think you're familiar with the facts of this. You're not familiar with this.
Really?
Yeah, facts are incorrect. Your facts are incorrect.
Like what? What's incorrect?
Children are not being sterilized.
Oh, really? So, I'm now, but
I mean, it's used is triptolerant. Triptolerant is the exact same drug used.
Suicide and trans mental health to propagate anti-LGBT.
Oh, here we go.
Suicide is trying to propagate anti-LGBTQ propaganda. He's trying to tell children that they are not allowed to be trans.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, they're not. They're not. In some religions, you can't do that. Yeah, you have to respect that. Some religions, yeah, LGBTQ. But in some religions, they accept that. But in our religion, you can't do that. What religion are you? What religion are you? Catholic.
I'm not Catholic.
Why are you then? You're
this little coward wearing his mask.
Okay.
No, she's not. That 3 women. Sadly. Lucy says it's not just blacks being marginalized, it's all American citizens. Yeah, it's all of us. But in Chicago, it's definitely the black people getting the short end of the stick from, a progressive black mayor who ran on this policy of sanctuary cities. He ran on this. This is what This is what he meant when he said that everyone was welcome here, and they're still coming. He's the only mayor up to this point who has said no more. Who hasn't said no more. He's the only one who has stuck with the sanctuary city line. Adams has caved, Whitmer's caved. They've all caved except for Brandon Johnson. That's how far left he is. He's being threatened with a recall, and he won't denounce a sanctuary city. Table Rock Guy, what's going on, man? How you doing tonight? Harry Parrott says, Massa homework, watch Cardinal Vigio's rant on evil of the world and those who took over the Catholic Church. Father Vigio never calls him Pope. Cardinal Vigio. All right, Harry. I usually do my homework that you send me. Table Rock Guy, how you doing tonight? Atlas says, I foresee that Chicago will be put into martial law. I mean, $9,000 a month to illegal immigrants, like she said, Social Security cards, jobs, healthcare. I mean, where was that money when Chicago needed it? They're definitely going the socialist way because Brandon's is thinking about opening government supermarkets, government-owned supermarket Chicago, because all of the big supermarkets have left. They've all shut down. Target's leaving. They're all leaving. So there's these food deserts now in Chicago, and the mayor's solution is not to crack down on crime. It's to open government food supermarkets. That's pretty much socialism. Like that's what these people want. And I think that's part of the fight that's coming. These Marxist, Leninist, socialist, communist nuts who wouldn't last an hour in any of the countries that they're talking about, right? They wouldn't make it in Venezuelan streets for 10 minutes. They can't even get into China. It's like I don't understand if that's really what you're looking for. If that is your hope for a political future, your utopia, what is making you hang around here? You should be on the next flight. Evolve Radio, what's going on, man? He says me detail hasn't left. None of us are. None of us. They're still hanging over your head. What's going on, bro? How you been, man? Evolve Radio was with me down in DC. He was in the bar where we stayed the night the lobbyists came in. Evolve, Adam. What lobby were they in? Which field were they in? Do you remember? Yeah, the lobbyists came into the bar that we were at, talking to us, shooting the shit. And remember, we asked the guy, what does his job really entail? And the first thing out of his mouth was, promise you're not going to hit me. Remember? Nuts. Table Rock Guy says, doing great. I got 2 weeks off. Nice. For deer hunting. Starting Saturday, just getting through the week, so ready to take some time off work. Nice, man. That sounds fun and relaxing. That sounds good. Where do you get that done, Table Rock Guy? Where do you go deer hunting? Harry Perry says, Master Chicago has always been a Marxist socialist hotbed. It goes back to the Haymarket riots. Yeah, I know, but this mayor is just on a whole other level, right? Angelina, what is going on? She says, I surely hope we make it through the next 5 years. How you doing, Angelina? I think we will. I think the people in this chat will. People in this chat are informed. They're up to date on information. They know about the economy, their financial situations. Like, there are people who are getting the message loud and clear. I think those people will be okay. Table Rock Guy says Missouri. Okay. Lucy says LGBTQ nuts have no clue what would happen. I know. I know. It's crazy. Yeah. People will throw them off a building in a heartbeat, and they're protesting. And half of them they don't know the signs in New York and some of these other big cities of missing children. In Germany the other day, during one of these protests, the guy asked him, what are they protesting for? Is it up? There we go.
Wie könnte
You have to read.
Sagen, ich will keine in Deutschland, das ist Schwachsinn. Jeder, der
den Islam verändern, für authentischen Islam, so wie er ist.
Jeder, der sich als Muslim bezeichnet, muss die Scharia auf der ganzen Welt. Ich will die Scharia in Deutschland auf jeden Fall.
Würdest du die deutsche Verfassung aushebeln, wenn du die Gelegenheit...
Auf jeden Fall.
Okay, danke.
Wie zum Beispiel, wie könnte man jetzt aus deutschem islamischen Staat machen? Wie zum Beispiel?
Laut den Werken ist das so, dass man, wenn man in der Mehrheit ist, wie sie auch erklärt haben, sind wir dafür befohlen, Deutschland einzunehmen, auf jeden Fall.
Also es ist das ist eine islamische Pflicht, auch Deutschland einzunehmen.
Auf jeden Fall.
Ich respektiere deine Ehrlichkeit und du bist ja gegen Wahlen, die jetzt sagen, nein, das stimmt nicht und wir sollen hier in Frieden leben.
Was passiert da mit Homosexuellen?
Laut meines, ich glaube, die werden von einem Berg runtergeschmissen.
Also,
ist ein Hadith,
im islamischen Staat waren es
Islam.
Hochhäuser, haben sie runtergeschmissen, also Todesstrafe auf jeden Fall, ne?
That ain't me talking. That's facts. Facts. And Angelina says, I'm good. Get through the cold and infect lupus. Miss you guys, though. Still in 100% AMC. Me too, girl. I'd be talking about something if it was newsworthy tonight about AMC, but I'm not going to get all pumped up over a 2% move, right? I mean, there's only just so much you can do. And I just don't think technical analysis or any of that helps right now. Corruption runs deep in the market right now. But I hope you feel better, Angelina. I miss you too. We miss you. Lizzie says, did I eat? Too hot here right now. Christian Princess says, once Muslims are the majority, there won't be any peace. It's going to be hard to have peace if they're trying to implement Sharia law. Yeah, it's going to be tough. Going to be tough. All right, we're rolling up on 10 o'clock. I wind this down. Hopefully tomorrow I will have an answer from the National Press Office in DC, and I can update you guys on that information. But like I said, I think I wouldn't be too worried about that list. I think it might just be, honestly, that's the only source I could find was that one guy's video. And the wording and everything was just off to me. Like something was very strange about it. I went back to go look at his channel was about, and his channel blew up because of stimmy checks. That's where he got all of his fame from before he started talking about the war. So yeah, I would just say take that with a grain of salt for sure. For sure. Lizzie says LOL mass. All right. Let's close this at 1:45. Guys, I appreciate everyone stopping by tonight and contributing to this conversation. I will do my homework, Harry Parrott. Yeah. And I'm still hodling with you guys. I just don't want to get emotions ramped up for no reason. There's no need to come on. I mean, if you ever have something to say about it or you got an issue, we can talk about it, right? We'll talk it out. But as far as putting it in my titles anymore or putting it on my thumbnails, until we have a significant move or there's some news that is going to move the price one way or the other substantially, there's a lot going on in the world that I just think deserves attention right now. And, I've given 2.5 years and blood, sweat, and tears to AMC theaters in my portfolio. And, I still want all of us to win. But I just think the corruption runs deep, and it's going to be difficult for us to fix that. It's going to be difficult. We're trying our best, though. All we can do is keep pressing on. And like I said, maybe one of us needs to run for Congress soon. DB Cooper says, how hard it was to get through to teens back in the day. It seems like the teens of today are impossible to relate to. Oh, yeah. 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 I was watching videos the other day about a bunch of teachers who have quit, just saying that there's no respect in the schools. No one respects the teachers. They're overworked. The amount of meetings that are pushing all of this ideology. Matter of fact, there's one teacher in particular that I found her YouTube channel. I'm going to see if I can get her on to talk about it during a live stream to kind of give an insight into what is going through these kids' head. What are they learning schools in the public school system? I just found her yesterday or the day before, so I haven't reached out to her yet because I was dealing with the FBI stuff today. But I'm going to try to get on for a live stream just to get an idea of what this curriculum is saying and, maybe try to get a better understanding of where these kids are coming from because they're so spoiled and they got no respect for authority and they're not ready for the real world when they come out of these schools. And our tax dollars are going to pay to fund the education system. And they're not teaching the kids anything. They're making it about participation and everybody wins and everybody graduates and no tests and no nothing. And they're going to be completely in a lot of trouble when they come out into the real world. So, Pam, be careful in SF. I know you're going to Napa, but be very careful anyway, especially at the airport. All right, thank you for coming by, everybody. Thank you for the chat. Lucy and Pam, my two mods tonight. Thank you, guys. Have a good night, and hopefully we'll see a good day in the market tomorrow. But again, I'm not going to get fired up over a 2% move. We can't, right? Can't. All right, guys. Love you. Have a good night. I'm out.